Welcome. Here we are once again, broadcasting from Sticky Paws Studio in Las Vegas. What happens there goes on social media. Anyway, the name of our podcast is Who Closed Last Night, and it's brought to you by Walnut Street Hospitality Group. And this is a podcast about management, leadership. It's for small business owners, managers, leaders, anyone that's maybe interested in how to make their business better, or just a different opinion on how to run a business and make stuff happen. So my name is Stan.
And my name is Zach.
And that's what we have for you. We typically do this in kind of three sections. We tell you we call them real life lessons. You can call them whatever you want, but kind of the hook for this podcast. And then we give you some personal opinions or personal stories about how we've learned it, what we've done. And then we end with a real life lesson. And that's kind of the way we roll.
Yes, sir. We're here to help other people that were in the same position that we're in.
Yep.
Get past obstacles and things through our own experience. But before we get into it today, please stop what you're doing. Follow, like, and share.
Right now, stop.
Stop. Follow, like, and share this podcast video. Follow us on Instagram at whoclosedlastnight_, Facebook at whoclosedlastnight. Listen to us on YouTube at Who Closed Last Night Podcast. Send us your Who Closed Last Night story of the week, year, month, anything that brings tears, joy, laugh, or lesson. Send it to us. We'd love to share it with the audience. Follow us on TikTok at Who Closed Last Night_. And finally, listen to us on Spotify.
And by the way, all of these things that you can send us, it could be your personal opinion. Maybe you don't like my mustache or goatee, whatever it is. Let us know. We'd love to share it anyway, and we always try to respond in one of our next. It might not be the exact next podcast, but we do try to address any of the things that you might want to send in to us. So with that being said, here is our life lesson for the day. And this is particularly for retail and restaurants. And the topic is this: raising prices, something that we are all aware of because we've all had prices raised on us. So raising prices, can you afford to, or can you afford not to? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So the way it goes is life changes. Times change, costs change. Do you need to change with them along with your prices, or are you saying to your customers, I'm not going to change my prices, but what will happen then, right? And I know that
My customers might not understand.
my customers might not understand. I haven't changed my prices in 10 years, and times change, right? I mean,
Yes.
what's labor? How much is labor cost change in 2 years?
It's gone up, I believe in Hawaii, it's gone up almost $3 for minimum wage.
Over the course of a couple years?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's on track to go up $2 more in 2 more years.
Yes. So how can you afford to service your customers, or even more so, how can you afford to stay in business if you don't raise your prices? And then again, the argument for that is, will you lose all your customers if you raise your prices? So I think for us, we've had some experiences with that, not only
Yes.
in our own locations, but with people that we've talked to. How do you think it's affected what we do?
Raising prices has affected what we do by making our offerings continuously profitable.
So, the customer's profit's a bad word, right? It's a bad word.
Absolutely.
But we got to pay raises.
I was going to say, but I think it falls onto the owner or the operator to kind of have this equation, right? Because really, if and when we raise prices, we stick to a food cost percentage that we're after, right? It's not let's just add blindly $5. It's because there's a strike in Mexico and the avocados went from $48 a case to $250 a case, and our customer or our guest still wants avocado on their breakfast burrito.
Right. Or pork,
Absolutely.
right? So the some of the pork farms have they've run out of pork, or they're in the process because their employees have COVID. And I say, and now we're beyond that.
Right.
But it's the what's left behind. There's still effects of the pandemic out there.
They recently, in the last 2 years, they've increased the required space that an animal in a pork manufacturing plant has. But I'm sure that means they either have to increase their footprint of the whole manufacturing plant, or they have to reduce the amount of animals that they can house in there, right? So
Right.
that's a new limitation as things change that has affected the supply available. The demand hasn't changed, right, from a restaurant tour aspect. So the price increased.
Right? Well, here's another one though. What about disposable items?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So I don't know. I don't know if this is nationwide at all, but I know in Hawaii, due to protecting the environment, which I think we can all agree with, right? That's something that needs to happen more often in more places. But the impact on business really affected us, right? You can't hand out a plastic bag without charging for it, right?
Right. Any bag,
Any
even
bag.
paper bag.
Absolutely, but beforehand it was baked into the price of the item, right? Everybody could. But now you have to have a separate charge. Hey, would you like a bag with that? It'll be 15 cents because
Yes.
that's what the state wants you to do.
Yep. So I think, and not just in Hawaii, but everywhere. Obviously, the price of gasoline has gone up, and now there's fuel surcharges on it, on your deliveries. There's
Yes.
also, minimum deliveries because they're trying to conserve gas,
And they're short-staffed as well.
and they're short-staffed. So people, I think in general, businesses have to compensate their employees differently
Yes.
than they used to have to before. Before, and in some places, I guess it would still be like this. But let's just say you owned a restaurant with servers, and you would pay them the tip credit, right?
Right.
So the tip credit plus the amount that they would get in tips would have to at least equal minimum wage. But now that's not enough, right? And I get some of the minimum wage increases because just like everyone else, those people have to pay for gas.
Right.
They got to pay for insurance. All of these things play into it. But to get back to the question, can you afford to not raise prices and expect to stay in business?
No.
Uh, I would totally agree with that, and I think that's something that we run across frequently. As we're talking to other business owners, I've even had some other business owners tell me that they're going to lower the quality of their offerings and completely stray from their business plan because of the costs of labor, food, gasoline, utilities. And you got to wonder if you started in a business that you loved
Right.
because you loved it,
Yes.
and now all of a sudden you don't love it because it's not the business that you wanted to start.
What's the point?
What's the point, right?
Right.
I think every entrepreneur goes into business for themselves because they think I can do this better, faster, stronger. I love what I'm going to do. I have something to offer that maybe not everyone else can offer, and I can do it better. I've got a spin on it, a tweak on it, something that makes it different. When it becomes not profitable, what do you do?
I think as a entrepreneur, business owner, restaurateur, the first thing you got to do is step back and ask yourself, is every transaction that my team's ringing in, is every single one of those transactions profitable for me? Right? And start doing, when you start out with a menu, you cost out everything. It's probably time to revisit that and actually put a finger on whether you're losing or making some money on each transaction, because then you at least have a foundation to move upon, right? You know what's working for you right now, you know what's not, and it probably wouldn't take that long to accomplish.
I think that's one of the things. Part of being a business leader, whether you own it or not, is to analyze your
Yes.
business on a continuous basis, right? You can't analyze it when you open it and then never analyze it again. It's
Right.
it's it's constant, and I think part of that is also looking at your strengths and weaknesses, or I guess we don't call them weaknesses anymore. We call them
Opportunities.
opportunities, right? So your strengths and opportunities from a business standpoint and a staffing standpoint, are you maximizing everything that you can to maybe maintain some sort of acceptable price increase, right? And I know that, from personal experience, right now, the economy's a big thing, right?
Yes.
Well, with inflation and interest rates and whatnot,
That's a good point.
there are so many things that go into operating a business that sometimes you say to yourself, "Oh my God, is it worth it?" And you got to be committed to it, right?
Yes. Yes.
You got to love it.
Gotta love it.
Gotta
Gotta
love it.
love it. You gotta live, sleep, eat, and breathe it. You've got to want to do it every day.
That's that's uh, that's exactly what you got to do, and sometimes it can be tough.
Yeah.
So I think one of the stories that we have is that we're always hesitant to raise prices, but one of the things I think we learned is how to raise the price, but maybe give a little more, right? So now
Tweak the offering a little.
right to make it more, I guess, worth the increase, right? So we have one of the things we sell are these breakfast burritos that are to die for. By the way, just wanted to let you know. And
My mouth is salivating.
so I think one of the things that when we realize that the price of pork has gone up, there's gas surcharges, the price of labor went up, our utility bills went up. All of this happened, and we're
Paperware.
like, paper disposable ware went up, or
Oh, man.
recyclable paperware went up, and we thought, oh my God, how can we raise the prices? But what we did is we kind of stood back, analyzed a little bit, and said, okay, we're gonna have to raise the prices, but let's do this. Let's add a couple more ounces of food to make it worth, to make it memorable still.
Absolutely.
And I would say that we do get comments occasionally about, oh my God, it's so expensive, but a cup of coffee now is 5, 6, $7,
Oh my
right?
gosh. Yes.
It's not like we're the only ones trying to survive, and I think you just got to look at everything. You can't go to a restaurant and buy a salad probably for less than $15.
Absolutely. And to the comment that people say, "Oh, you raise the price, it's expensive," you get just as many comments saying, "But it will fill me up all day because this is a big bomber,
Right.
right? Or burrito, breakfast burrito. We call them bombers." But I think that was a winning solution, because not only did the price increase, the offering increased. So it was a tit for tit, tit for tat.
Tit for tat, yeah, and that it's worked for us. So although we do get the occasional, oh, it's expensive, we get 10 times as many people saying, oh my God, it's so much food and it's so good.
Yes.
And so part of that is the quality, right? We've never changed the quality offering that we do because of the price. We didn't drop to a lower grade of anything.
Anything.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I just wanted to touch everyone out there and say, listen, raising prices is always it's a little bit of gambling, right? You don't know. Well,
It's touchy.
it's touchy. That's what I'll say. It's not gambling. It's touchy But you have to know who your client is, who you want it to be. You have to know the quality that you're going for, the quality that they expect, what people are willing to pay for. One more example is our full service restaurant doesn't have a well program.
No, it does not. It's been
So
missing for 7 years now.
but there's a reason for that, right? We charge more for our cocktails, but you never get you know, pop off vodka in your martini. We're talking you get your choice of some what we would call uh, top shelf liquors, or
Yes.
definitely not well brands. And I think that's kind of like offering. We had to raise our burrito prices, but we offered more.
Yes.
You're going to get more for it. It's the same as our cocktails, right? We have higher prices, but you get a damn good drink.
Yes, and I think to marry that with something else that might not be part of the offering, but it's part of the experience, right? So I think that's where great customer service comes in, right? You got to have friendly, smiling customer service because that adds to the value of this trip to the restaurant or someone's store out there. It adds to the value of that transaction and where it lives in their mind when they remember it.
That's I couldn't have said that better, and actually I probably hadn't even thought about that. It is the experience. It's the total experience. It's not just that plate of food. It's not just that smiling face. It's not just a clean environment. It's everything put together to make the experience a valuable experience at whatever price that is.
I would agree with that. And I also think for operators, managers, leaders, that even when you raise the price, you can offer your guest or, your locals or your people that come back every day, right? You can offer them a different kind of discount in the form of a happy hour or loyalty rewards where it's based on their patronage, how many times they've come and supported your establishment, so where maybe they get a better price. And I think that that's not thought of in this kind of environment when it comes to raising prices, because you can take care of all your locals from 2 to 4 with the happy hour where you get, $4 or $5 off, and that puts it back to a previous price point, right? I don't know. There's just different ways to take care of the people that take care of you.
And it's up to you as the owner, the manager, the proprietor, to step back, to analyze, to know your business, to know your customer,
Yes.
and to make the adjustments that create a two-way winning street, right? Both ways
Yes.
wins. Okay.
I think from our previous podcast, something that was important that we try to do is hit everything head on. Don't hide that, oh, we didn't raise the prices. No, look, we raised the prices. Labor increased $2. Disposables increased 50%. And, food's gone crazy, especially with the shipping prices to get to an island, right?
Yes.
And I think with that being said, there's some understanding there, but every other business in the same environment is doing the same thing. So it's not like we're the only people doing it. It's affecting everybody, every business, right? And they're going to see it everywhere.
Well, so it does affect everyone. However, I would say that not every manager, leader, business
Yes.
owner understands the ramifications of not doing it. And you can see that every day, right?
Yes.
Every day another restaurant, closes. Every day another store is no longer there. Every day you hear about from another business owner the fact that whew, things are tough. And
Yes.
things are tough, by the way. But you got to make some decisions, and
Yes.
it's not always a pleasant decision, but that's what being a business owner, leader, or manager is all about.
Yes.
So one of the things that we want to do is make sure that you
Well, follow, like, and share. Stop everything you're doing right now. Go ahead and follow, like, and share. Follow us on Instagram at whoclosedlastnight_. We're on Facebook at Who Closed Last Night, YouTube at Who Closed Last Night Podcast, TikTok at Who Closed Last Night _. My absolute favorite is our Gmail email, and it's Who Closed Last Night Pod. Send all your industry stories, whether they're funny, they're sad, they're just informational. Send them to us. We'd love to go over them on the podcast. And last but not least, listen to us on Spotify.
And love us. Okay, now, so he said, send us your stuff on Gmail.
Uh-oh.
We have a couple from Gmail for you today. We try to pick one or two for our episodes now to kind of talk about and give people a forum on what they want to say, their opinion, and things like that. And of course, we're going to do the same. You might not enjoy our response, and or you might say, "Yeah, I get it," or you might say, "Screw those guys." But here we are. We're about to give you some pizza with extra cheese. So here's one from a user number. We're not going to call them out. But this was in regards to our podcast on reviews, like Yelp reviews, Google reviews, TripAdvisor, third-party review platforms.
And everybody has a strong feeling about those.
Oh my gosh, strong might be an understatement. So this one, we talked about how a lot of people that do reviews only focus on the negative. And they don't talk about the wonderful experiences they have. It becomes a bitch for them. And I think, that's one of the things that makes Yelp and all of these third-party platforms unpopular with actual business owners. And I think, we talked about before, if there was a customer platform to rate customers, how many of you would like the reviews that you get from the businesses? I'm getting off track because I'm passionate about this topic. But anyway, we talked about the negative reviews, and we got this reply about negative reviews, and basically they said, "I only leave bad reviews because I want people to know how bad, to know it was bad. If it was good, I usually don't think about saying how good it was." And from my perspective, if somebody does a good job, you want to tell them they do a good job, right? Everyone wants to get a pat on the back,
Yes.
and attaboy, whatever it is. And I think if all you're going to do is focus on the negatives, then, why go someplace and enjoy it? Are you just looking for the negatives? Are you looking to have a bad experience? Are you putting that in your head because you just want to be negative? And we said this before, but oftentimes when, we watch our guest reviews a lot, very diligently, and when we get ripped or shredded, we go look and see what kind of reviews does this person typically give. And when you do that, I'm going to tell you that probably 75% of the time, all that person does is give negative reviews. That's,
It's like they don't have sunshine in their life. They're just living in a cloudy day.
Let us be that smiley face in your life. That's what we're after. Smiley
Yes.
face. To respond to this, I'm going to just say, look, you might not like us. You might not like where you're going, but then find a place you like and just go there all the time. Don't be unhappy. Don't just spread, fog or gray skies. Reach out and be happy and let people know, hey, I might not have liked this at that restaurant or that store, but I did like this.
Right. Or the service was nice.
The service was nice. The food was crap, but hey, the service was nice. I came in, the hostess was smiling. There's got to be some good things about most places.
Right.
Maybe not everything.
Yes.
And maybe, there are those places that you leave saying, oh my God, but
What happened?
what the heck did I just pay for? But is it necessary to broadcast all over, right? And if most places have enough reviews that are at least fairly positive, that one review that you write ends up, ripping someone, ends up sounding like you just had a bad day or you
Yes.
just have a negative life.
Yeah. You
So,
can't see the positive.
You can't see the positive, even though it's kicking you right in the
No
shin.
aloha.
No aloha spirit. So anyway, to this person, hey, cut them a break. Cut the businesses that you frequent a break. Unless it's really bad, there's no reason to shred them.
Just stop frequenting them.
Just don't go to them. And I think if everyone were to put themselves in the place of the business that's getting shredded as a customer, would they want to be shredded by that business?
Absolutely.
That's what you call tit for tat, right?
Tit for tat.
So here we are. We have concluded another one of our podcasts. And we are, for those of you that have watched us, are watching us, have responded to us, we love you. We always love you. Even if you have a differing opinion, that's okay. That's what life is about. And with that, we have one word for you, and that is aloha.